Let's talk about it. You're listening to Let's Talk About It, a digital forum that holistically addresses the issues that arise in everyday life and the current affairs that are prevalent throughout our nation and that affect our culture. Let's join host Typriece Hanner now for today's discussion. Let's talk about it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I am your host Typriece Hanner, but of course, everybody, and I do mean everybody, calls me Ty. Thank you for allowing me to hang out with you for a few minutes. Well, Happy New Year. We have made it through and we have made it to another year. And I am so grateful. I mean, so grateful to see another year and have this continual opportunity to better my life. And so I don't know about you, but hey, I am excited. So fam, what's been going on with you? How have you guys been living? What have you all been up to? Where did you go? Who did you see? Well, as always, I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, life is good. And you know what? Life should be good. Why, you might ask? Because God is good. I hope I have a witness right there. Well, as for me, I know that I've been missing in action for quite some time now. Life has been busy these past few months, I must admit. A lot of things, and I do mean a lot of things, have been going on. For starters, many of you know that I am the proud father of a beautiful baby girl. And that little lady has just completely lit up my life. I am truly grateful to God for her. She has definitely become my motivation to do more and to just be a better person. She is actually 6 months now, going on 7, and I have to be honest. I am enjoying every waking minute of being her father. I mean, I love spending time with her. I actually find myself thinking about her throughout the day. Like I'm always going through my phone, looking at pictures and videos that I've taken of her throughout the week. And this daddy-daughter relationship thing, this is really something else. This is really something serious. To all of the fathers of daughters out there, listen, I have to admit, I understand. I get it. I get it now. Yeah, a daughter will definitely change your life. And although she wasn't born in a traditional context, so to speak, I'm still grateful to God for her. I'm still grateful to God for her. When I made my post about her some months ago, a lot of people were so supportive of how I handled myself through all of this, being a single pastor and all. And surprisingly, it even encouraged some pastors who have the same context as I to be more vocal about their children, which I actually thought was a good thing. Because sometimes I think the church portrays herself as if we are perfect, above problems, above sin, and all of this, but I've never been a preacher to think that way. Yes, I am saved. Yes, I love the Lord. Yes, I pray and I read my Bible just about every day. But I also have flesh, which makes me prone to temptation. And just as any other human being, I make mistakes. Thankfully, for God's grace and his mercy, this mistake was actually a blessing in disguise, because I'm telling you, this little lady, she does keep me on my toes. She keeps me on my toes, and I love her. I love her. I'm going to give her a shout out a little later, as I always do, but shout out to my baby girl, Chloe. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you. But she is not the reason why I've been missing in action for a while. I actually ended up getting a second job, which required that I work 4 to 5 nights out of the week. And it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but after getting laid off and having to find another job, and then the job that I found, it doesn't pay enough to maintain the lifestyle to which, I was accustomed. I kind of had to do what I had to do. So in a nutshell, that's why I've been missing in action. That's why I've been out of the podcasting game, if you will, for a little while now. And then not only that, I lost my grandmother in November of last year, and of course that took a toll on me. I tell you, it is never easy watching somebody you love slowly decline. Listen to me, fam. Listen to me. If you are caring for someone elderly, whether it is your mother, your grandmother, the neighbor next door, do something with them to keep their mind sound. It really bothers me that as people get older, we have a tendency to throw them away as if they have no purpose and they have no value. But without many of them, rather, our life, some of the luxuries, some of the privileges that we have in life, we wouldn't have it had it not been for those who came before us. And so make sure that you do all that you can do to care for the elderly, because watching someone deal with dementia and Alzheimer's and all of that stuff, that's really not cool. It's a slow journey of grief. And for those of you who follow me on social media, you already knew since I made a post about it, but for the rest of my listeners, please definitely keep my family in prayer, especially my mom. Shout out to my mom for being such a wonderful caretaker to my grandma. And so that's what's been going on. And so now here we are in 2023. So since we're talking about 2023, what are some of y'all's goals? Like, I want to know, what are y'all planning for this year? I don't want to know about your resolutions. I, as a matter of fact, even in reference to the new year, I don't even use the word resolution. And the reason why I don't use the word resolution is because resolutions in the new year don't always get resolved. So we're going to use the term goal. So what are some of y'all's goals for the year? What are you looking to accomplish? One of my goals is to actually buy a house. I really want a house this year. I want it to actually subcontract, but everything is just so freaking high. I mean, everything. All of the materials are so high, and it just wouldn't be logical to subcontract at this time. And especially with the design that I want, the materials would probably cost more than the house is actually worth. So subcontracting for me is probably not going to be the best option. But nevertheless, that's one of the things that I do want to do this year. I want to buy a house. And not only that, I actually want to get back to taking what I call day trips. It's just little trips that I would take throughout the week to neighboring cities within a 2 to 3 hour radius, and just chill there for a few hours, just tour the city, walk around downtown or what have you. Just do whatever, nothing planned or anything of that nature. Just go, probably hang out to the mall or the outlets or something of that nature. And I haven't really had the opportunity to do that in a while. And so I actually intend to get back to that this year. But enough about me. What about you? Let me know what you're going to do. Let me know what your goals are for 2023. So, I really don't have a particular topic to talk about on this episode. This is actually somewhat of a pilot of some sort to kind of jumpstart the new year of my podcast. However, if I had to choose a topic, I would probably leave you with this. A few days ago, during our New Year's Eve service at the church where I currently pastor, I was impressed by God to actually share with our congregation a message entitled Learning Moments. I adopted the title from the story of Joseph in the latter chapters of the book of Genesis, when Joseph actually reunites with his brothers. And Just in case you don't know the story about Joseph, just allow me to paraphrase the story all in a nutshell. That was actually kind of redundant, but all in a nutshell. Let me tell you what Joseph is about. The story of Joseph is about. Joseph was actually a favorite child, and his brothers were jealous of him. So they sold him into slavery. And he had so much favor over his life that his master decided eventually to make him prime minister over Egypt. And all of a sudden, 7 years of famine came, and because of Joseph's wisdom, he was able to sustain Egypt through the famine. His brothers actually came to Egypt to get some food and some other resources, and when Joseph saw them, he made himself known to his brothers, and they were shocked because they thought that Joseph was about to get revenge on them for what they did to him. But that's not what happened. Joseph looks at his brothers and he tells them, out of all that I've endured, I've come to understand that it was necessary for me to be here. It was necessary for me to have gone through what I went through. The process, you selling me into slavery and all of that. All of that was necessary for this very moment. He tells his brothers, he said, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for your good. That is a classic scripture that the church, that will put the church in a shouting frenzy. But Joseph came to understand the will of God for his life and why things happened or turned out the way that they turned out. He had to endure some losses, though, to actually get to where he is. He lost his coat that his father gave him, and unfortunately, he lost contact with his family because his brothers actually lied. And at one point, he actually lost his freedom because he was imprisoned for 2 years. But through all of the losses, he learned the will of God. And in life, family, there are going to be some losses. However, you must never allow yourself to wallow in defeat. Let the losses be lessons you learn to level up in your life. You have to remember that you don't lose, you just learn. Well, that's my time. I hope you've enjoyed our little discussion today. You already know I have. And hey, once again, Happy New Year. And also do me one simple favor. Please send this podcast to at least 5 of your friends. Tell them to make sure that they subscribe. Of course, you know that we're on all major digital outlets. And also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Let's Talk About It with Ty Hanner. And there you will be updated with all of the latest episodes. Just make sure that you hit subscribe and also hit the alert button. And of course, if you like what you hear, or there's a particular topic on which you would like advice, you already know what to do. Just simply hit me up at Let's Talk About It with Ty Hanner at gmail.com. You already know I want to hear from you. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It. Chloe, Daddy loves you. I'm Ty Hanner. I'm out. Peace.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about.
You've been listening to Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk about.